Brando said, get in the car. And I was like, why? And he's like, because we're going to get food.
It's a keeper.
Yeah. It sounds so silly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chips, Dips, and Relationships. I'm joined today by a good friend from high school, Miss Allie McClure. Allie is now just about to finish her undergrad and go to her master's in Italy.
You betcha.
Very exciting, but it's so nice to have you here today. It's good to see ya.
I know, honestly, it's been a hot minute.
It's been since high school.
That's kind of
Right?
hard to believe.
That's
to be
great.
honest.
It's 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years, but welcome back to Ottawa. You're doing studies at Nipissing and
Yeah.
currently in a relationship, I do?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
definitely. Currently in a very serious relationship.
And a long distance one, I hear.
You could call it that.
Call it that? Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's about 6,000 kilometers of distance, roughly.
6,000 kilometers.
Yeah, my boyfriend is currently living in Italy. He's from Italy, like born and raised.
Okay.
We met when we were in university, and I'm not gonna lie, big holdout on my part. Knowing that, I was like, okay, great. So we're gonna start date for like 7 months, and then have to do distance for the summers or indefinitely. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been interesting.
So then how did you guys meet then? Like what was the story behind that? Like what was the love at first sight moment? Was it connection instantly or?
So, to be honest, we both went to Nipissing.
Okay.
He was in his second year of the criminology program, and I was in my freshman year of social welfare and social development. And I was seeing this guy who, he was an athlete, and we were just very casual, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. We end up over at my current boyfriend's place. Can I use his name? Is that allowed?
Of course,
anonymity?
if
Okay.
he's happy. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're over at Brando's place, and we're there because he has been interacting with a mutual friend of ours. And we were invited over for a party. It was very casual, like maybe 10 people, something like that. And I don't know, I don't want to say it was love at first sight, but there was something. He broke some unfortunate news to me.
Oh.
And that was that the person I was seeing was not the most open and honest human being
I see.
I've ever known. And that's fine, whatever.
That's okay. Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020. I probably should have seen that myself.
One door closes, another door opens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, it wasn't love at first sight. It was friendship at first sight.
Which is important.
So important.
Almost more important. Yes.
Yeah.
But...
Like, nothing happened on, like, the first night we knew each other. We kind of just blossomed into outstanding friends. Texting 24/7, having the most, like, open conversations I've had with almost anyone.
Yeah.
And sort of within a week, we were like, is this something, like, more than this? Like, do we pursue this? I was certainly the more reserved one.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Like, I was like...
I'm saving myself.
Well, not even that.
Okay,
but,
okay.
like, I just wasn't sure about getting into a relationship. He had just recently gotten out of a pretty serious... Like, he'd been in a relationship for 2.5 years, something like that. And I'm like, I just found out some unfortunate news. I'm not trying to be a rebound as well. Like, I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was definitely showing me that, he wanted things to happen between us.
Okay, so he was dropping hints.
Yeah.
Nice. I see it. So I noticed you have a lovely promise ring.
I do.
Promise ring.
Yes,
yeah.
it's a promise ring. It's not an engagement ring. He's very traditional. It kind of comes from, being the masculine man or whatever, but also just being Italian is huge.
Yeah.
So he absolutely will not let me propose, let me pick out a ring, let me pick anything about a proposal. Nothing.
I see.
Like, cannot be involved whatsoever.
So it's a surprise. When it happens, it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you. I mean, it must have worked out then, because like it's like you're saying 6,000 kilometers away. But how long has it been now? It's been...
So we had our 3-year... It's actually...
3?
Yeah, it's actually funny. We decided mutually to change the date of our anniversary.
Okay.
The issue was when we first started dating, I'll be completely honest. Sorry, babe. I didn't see things going as far as they did.
That's a plot twist.
I didn't think I had found my person.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I didn't think I was at that stage in my life.
So what was the turning point then? Like, when did it click that you're like, you know what?
I don't know. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Basically, we decided mutually to pick the day that we first met as our anniversary, because the problem was with us both being at the same university, but him being from Italy, we were never going to be together on our actual anniversary. When we actually started dating, when I popped the question for us to start dating.
You popped the question.
I did.
Okay.
I asked. It was his Christmas gift the first year we were dating. I was like, will you be
Christmas
my boyfriend? It was very cute.
Okay.
But yeah, when that happened, he was back home in Italy, and he went home every Christmas. So I was like, we're never going to be able to spend an anniversary together.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about the fact that once he graduated, he wouldn't be here ever. But I mean, it's fine. So our anniversary is November 25th.
Okay.
So we just were cresting into our 4-year, I guess.
4
We're almost
years.
close to 4 years.
That's a really cute story. I mean, I used to, I think for my high school relationship, we'd considered the anniversary days since I brought the rice cooker to her place.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't.
That's another story for another time.
I don't even know how to approach that.
It was just like, long story short, I wanted to impress her. And I think I was like, look, I'll come over, I'll teach you math, I'll make you lunch, I'll bring a guitar. And I think when I said it, I meant it as kind of a joke, but I didn't know she would actually take me up on the offer.
Oh my God, yes.
So then I was like, okay. So I literally brought a rice cooker over to her house, the guitar, all the 9 yards. It was a great time. But yeah, and then we called it like days since the rice cooker. But it's super nice that it's like days since you met, I guess. And it's nice that you guys can celebrate that anniversary together when you do get a chance to see each other. How often do you get to see each other?
It's really hit or miss. So the last time I saw him, I think I just posted something for it actually. The last time I saw him was July 3rd.
Wow.
So we're
2020.
Yeah, so we're over 8.5 months now. Before that, our longest was 6 months. Usually, when we were both in university, we'd do summers apart. Even after that, it was, maybe 3-4 months, something around that ballpark.
Yeah.
This is certainly the longest that we've ever gone. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. We've really been apart more than we've been together when you calculate the grand total of our time dating.
That is, I don't even know what to say because here I am not able to maintain a local relationship. Okay. How does one maintain, how do you make someone feel loved from 6,000 kilometers away?
I ask myself that question every single day
Okay.
when I'm sorry, this is going to sound really cheesy, but at those lovey moments where I get those butterflies and a big goofy dimpled smile on my face where you can't see my eyes, over the phone, I'm like, how? I've never experienced anything like this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of going above and beyond those basic reassurances, things like that, because you can't just go over and kiss someone or give them the biggest hug or, just tell them face to face that you love them. That's not an option. So you need to go beyond that because you're missing that intimacy piece.
So then what has made it special for you? Because I'm sure he must be a magician with the way that all it's worked out. But so is it certain things he says or the way he says it, or is it how do you guys stay connected?
We talk pretty much all the time. The time difference is probably one of the biggest challenges because he's 6 hours ahead of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's nights where it's 4 p.m. and he's like, "Hey, night, babe, I'm going to sleep," and I'm like,
"Okay,
I'll just talk to myself for the rest of the day." It's not a big deal.
It's fine. It's fine.
But we're pretty good. It's fortunate that I'm very much a morning person and he's very much a night owl. Mm-hmm. So usually we get a good chunk of the day to talk. Super weird fact about, I don't know if it's just Italians or Europeans in general, they don't Snapchat.
Okay.
Like Snapchat is like a foreign concept to them.
They
think it's weird. They think it's like a lesser version of social media.
See, I know I'm getting old because I've stopped using Snapchat.
I no longer use it because the only person I ever talked to on it was Brando. And like, let me tell you, letting go of the streak that we had was like heartbreaking. I was like, I feel like we're breaking up.
How many days did you have?
Oh my God, so many. Like in the hundreds. The problem was every time we would kind of see each other, we would lose the streak because we were together. Like we would go so long apart that then we're like, well, there's no real reason for us to keep the streak. We're in the same room. So then we'd lose it. Okay. But it was like up into hundreds of days.
Okay.
And I don't know, like all the time in past relationships, if you lost a Snapchat streak, like
it's over.
That shit is over.
That's done. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, literally.
Get it together.
It's just over. Well, it was just a sign that clearly things weren't where they used to be, kind of thing.
That's tough.
Wow,
That's
I sound
tough.
like such a. I hate our generation.
You have one bad day that your phone was like your charger is just.
You're done.
You're done.
No,
over.
It wasn't like I needed someone to Snapchat me in my life. It was just like the people that I talked to the most, that I was interacting with the most, were the people I was dating. So when you started to lose the streak and then you weren't first best friends or anything like that, it was kind of a sign things were like tapering off, I'll say. But yeah, Italians don't use it. So we Instagram DM.
Fair.
Which was weird.
Classic.
Weird for me at first.
Classic. You're constantly sliding into the DMs. It's like you're renewing the relationship.
Okay, but George, I've never had anyone slide into my
Okay.
DMs.
Okay.
Like, I went through high school single.
Wow.
So basically, yeah, it was a very weird concept to get used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk a lot.
Good.
Usually FaceTime, like.
How do you keep the conversation going? Because I find sometimes, I'm sure people at home can relate to this too. It's when you talk to the same person over and over, how do you make sure the conversation stays fresh instead of just, hey, what are you doing? Not much. How about you? Cool. I'm going to go to bed. All right. Right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or just
Yes. That happens quite frequently, I would say. It's definitely a struggle that we've had because especially during quarantine and during COVID, I mean, really, how much happens in the day that
Not
you
a
have
whole
to
lot.
say that's really interesting to a person? Not a whole lot.
I went for a walk today.
Yeah, like it's things like that. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I woke up, I went and sat on the couch, read a book, played some video games like I do every day for the last 8.5 months. Like it's very, things get mundane. I think FaceTiming helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes when one of us can kind of tell a lag in the conversation, we'll just call each other because things are, they're more organic. You tend to get a better flow going.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger challenges because you're not having that face-to-face contact either. So you're like, holy crap, can this be a drier conversation? Like,
I like Sky.
yeah, you're like looking for things to talk about, and it's like, holy, like this is so boring.
The ceiling's nice.
Well, and then you feel like I think that was one thing too, is us being okay with not talking.
And I think that's big. And I think it's like, I think communication is the foundation for any kind of relationship. And it's like quality communication goes further than frequent communication.
Yes.
In my personal opinion,
Oh my
right?
gosh,
like
yes.
there are people who I would absolutely like, if I have something important, like I just got news that I got, I don't know, an interview or I landed a scholarship or whatever, like there's someone I want to tell and like I want that to be a good conversation and segue into more conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
But sometimes it's like I literally have nothing to say.
Yes, and I think unfortunately I'm bad for it in the sense that I feel like we need to keep talking.
Yeah.
And I think Brando gets to the point sometimes where he's like, I just don't have anything to add.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened. Like I don't know what you want me to say because literally nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be like, we're so far apart. I feel like we need to talk all the time, and I'm trying to get better at that. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully I've made a little progress.
So then, I mean, apart from the improvements then, because I'm sure because we talked a little bit about this in the beginning, we brushed on it, but how does he make you feel special from this far away and spending this much time apart? And how do you make him feel special?
He's an outstanding listener.
Okay.
Especially if I'm really struggling with something, which is an almost daily occurrence.
Okay.
But if I'm sort of really in my head, he's the first person that's there, and he's like,
Just
he
present.
talks me through everything. If it means that, for an hour, it's almost immediate conversation because I'm panicking or I'm having like something I'm really struggling with. He's there. Something else, I was actually talking about this with my mom the other day. He's really good for like, when I get overwhelmed, I tend to withdraw. I tend to not see people and I get feeling very alone. What he'll do is he'll message my friends, he'll message my mom, and he'll just be like, hey, Allie's having a really tough time. Do you think you could shoot her a message, ask her out for coffee or just check in, just see how she's doing? And sometimes he'll tell me he's done it. And then sometimes I'll get the message and I'll be like, oh my God, like so-and-so messaged me today. It was so good to hear from them. Or he'll come back the next day and I'll be like, hey, did Becca message you? And I'll be like, yeah, she did, actually. And I'm like, I'm on to you. Like, why would you even bring it up? Because I wouldn't have known. But yeah, like he's very good for, especially sometimes if it's later at night.
Yeah.
When he's like, it's literally 4 a.m. I can't stay awake anymore.
Yeah.
He'll text someone who'll be like, can you check in with her and just make sure she's doing okay? Because I can't be there.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter what, that he's there to support you. And that's,
oh yeah.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like even the other day, I was awarded a thing with the university. I was one of the Dave Marshall Leadership Award winners, which is like,
that sounds important.
It's 25 awards for the entire university.
That is
year.
important. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was very exciting, and like even it was right in the middle of their dinner hour, and like he and his parents, which was awesome, logged on to the Zoom call to like watch the ceremony, and they like filmed it and sent a whole little video of them cheering. Like it was really cute.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing that they're still, supporting
They're
me
still
even
there.
from so far away. Yeah.
So it's that feeling of support then. Do you think that's one of the big keys
that's the
there?
biggest thing. To be honest, that was one of the biggest things that probably drew me to him initially. I'll get into it a little bit more later, I guess. But the first night that we really hung out, I guess, I don't think we even knew we were really hanging out. Like we were just hanging out as friends, and things evolved from there.
One domino, two domino.
Yeah. Things happen.
Yeah.
But basically it was like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe even later. And it came out that I hadn't eaten since noon. I just put it off. I had other things that I needed to be doing, or I felt like I needed to be doing. And Brando said, get in the car. And I was like, why? And he's like, because we're going to get food.
It's a keeper.
Yeah. It sounds so silly, but like he was like, I don't care if I need to text you every single day in the morning and say, have you eaten?
Yeah.
And like check in with you every single day, but I'm going to do it because if that's what you need, that's what you need. And he was so pissed because McDonald's was closed. They were doing their cash change at 4 a.m. or whatever it was. And he was like, we can't get you. I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's the thought. Don't worry about it. Like, it's all good.
See, I think that's huge too, because oftentimes in relationships, and yeah, I'm not a guru. Don't take my advice. But I think a lot of times relationships might fail because if it comes back to love languages, we always try to do what we think the other person would like. Like, as in, like, I would enjoy if someone did this for me, so I'll do this for you to show you that, I care for you and I have feelings for you. But just because you would enjoy it doesn't mean the other person would enjoy it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I think a key to a successful relationship oftentimes is figuring out what does the other person actually respond well to? Like, what do they want? What do they like? Right. And in this case, it's, he knows that, I
need action.
Yeah.
I can't just like, as much as, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to like, I love hearing that someone loves me.
Yeah.
It's great.
But they got to show it.
But I can't there's only so many times when it feels like you're just saying it because it's a lull in the conversation or you don't know what else to say. There's so often you hear it, especially when you're in long-term relationships, where it's not that it means nothing. It's just, I need more.
Especially, and the fact that you can still feel that and experience that from 6,000. I need to up my game. What's going on?
I know he's kind of killing it.
I need to get my act together. But like it's good for you. Good for you. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. You're right. So it's like actions actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, for me, but
for you, yes.
For
yes.
him, like, and you know, it's gonna sound so silly. Like, I would highly recommend anyone go do that love languages test, because it will tell you what you respond most to.
So, what are your love languages?
Mine are, unfortunately, I think both of us got physical touch as one of them. It's real unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Tragic.
I like really like small gestures or small gifts, and like action.
See, for me, there's 5 love languages, right? I got 3 of them, which were like perfect thirds.
Yep.
It was like 35, 30, 30, and then 5% and 0%. And number 1 was acts of service. So 35% acts of service.
Okay.
30% was physical touch. 30% was quality time.
Yes, quality time is big for me as well.
Quality time, big. And it's like, it doesn't mean that you need to spend a lot of time together, but when you're together,
Be
quality
there.
time. Be there, be present, 100%,
Yeah.
yes. And then 5% of the time, I think it was just because like I picked one of the options over the last option, but it was like gifts. Gifts really aren't big to me. Like I just like, it's more the person, it's more the experience, it's more like the presence.
Yeah.
And then 0% words of affirmation. And so this was really interesting to me because I don't know if it was just because like coming out of a relationship, I was like, look, I'm tired of hearing things with no action, but I'm sure it's nice to have the words of affirmation for like people in general. Like it's nice to say nice things, but like you said, if you say nice things without the support and the action behind it, are you just saying it for the sake of saying it, or like?
Yes, and I think there's also something to be said for words of action, or sorry, not words of action, words of affirmation in key moments.
Okay.
In moments where you're not just saying it because you have nothing else to say, you're not saying it all day long just because, but you know, you're surprising someone in the middle of the day with, hey, I really love this about you. And that's when I get those like weird that butterfly moment.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, that was so unexpected.
So,
and I think that's why I tend towards like the small gifts. It's not the monetary value of it.
It's the fact
it's not
that
that you need to buy it for me. It's that out of the blue you thought of me and you did something that you just did because you really love me. Like it just came out of nowhere, and I love surprises. So it's not necessarily about the actual buying of the thing. It could just be, you know, you show up with a coffee because I said I was having a bad day, or just because you were like, hey, I'm getting a coffee. Let's get you a coffee. Like those are the kind of things that I really respond to. Mm-hmm. So, and Brando's not like that. Like he's very much words of affirmation. Okay. And obviously that's harder to do again when you're on distance. Yeah. Like you can only send someone Uber Eats so many times.
So many times, yeah. But that's amazing. So then if I understand correctly, just to kind of recap it for me and for everyone, you're saying that for you, who's had a successful long distance relationship, the keys that you've had, despite spending so much time apart and despite being so far away from each other, one, good listening skills are important to you.
Yep.
Having a strong support system is important to you. Having little actions, either words of affirmation or just like sweet nothings, little gifts, getting you coffee, just little actions to show you that you're on someone's mind. Those are all the things that really tell you you're special, you're important, and this is why you're in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes time to actually see each other, live in every single moment, because those are the memories that are going to carry you through when you're at your lowest point and you're like, I've never considered that we couldn't do this. But you get to a point where you're like, I'm so tired. You're so feeling broken down, and just, when are we ever going to catch a break? It's those memories that you make when you're just appreciating every single second you have with that person. That's what's going to carry you through. It can be small. It can be literally me thinking of, you know, I'm sitting on the couch reading a book and Brando's watching whatever games on TV, but my legs are stretched out across him and we're just sitting there. But it's the fact that we're together, and it's so comforting. Or it can be big, like it can be anything really, but you have to learn to appreciate every single second that you have with a person, because like, as cheesy and cliche as it is, you don't really know how many you're gonna have. That's beautiful. Sorry. I know. I'm getting all emotional.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Honestly, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
I think this is all the time we got for today, but that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. If we ever get a chance to speak again, like, I mean, I know you're heading off to Italy soon, but
I am.
hey, like, stay in touch. I'd love to have you back, maybe even like virtually and stuff.
Oh yeah, we could even do a virtual podcast with the two of us.
That would be great.
His perspective.
That would actually be great.
Right?
Yeah.
He can debunk all the bullshit.
Okay.
Sour.
She makes me go to McDonald's. I don't want to.
Literally.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
She always says she doesn't want fries, and then she eats all my fries. Yeah.
Oh, classic. Yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
That's all the time we got. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the show. Let me know if, you can relate to Ali's story. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.